everybody, welcome back. It's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 days since we filmed last, but hasn't been anything too interesting. We've just mostly been shelling some corn here and there, but 2 or 3 days ago, we moved over to our west ground. Been shelling some corn over there, but I think we're ready to cut some beans, so we got the bean head hooked up to the 7240 and the other bean head hooked up to the pickup truck right there. So we're going to head over there, and it's a little damp and humid this morning, so it might be a couple hours before we get to cutting. So we'll either get over there and shell a bit more corn, or it will take us a little bit to get everything ready to go. So we'll see how it goes when we get over there. It's about, I don't know, 35-40 minutes to where we want to get going over there. So fingers crossed, maybe Matthew will have some of the greasing and stuff done. We'll see. Well, made it over here, and as some of you guys might know, combines can be a bumpy ride, and my coffee cup was letting me know, so I kind of had to chug my coffee on an empty stomach. So we'll see what my belly feels like here in a couple hours. Also, it's kind of, you probably can't see it in the mirror very well, the header trailer down back there, but combines aren't very easy to see around, and sometimes all I had to see if everything was going all right was the shadow that the header trailer was making. But we made it down here safe and sound, so hopefully we get some acres knocked out today. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, September 23rd. I'm sure Jonathan already told you we're going to try to cut some beans later on this morning. You can see Dad's combine headers there, Luke's headers back there. It's been a couple days since I've talked to you last. We've been shelling some corn, and last night we filled 2 trucks and a truck's worth on the grain cart, so that's what we're doing this morning. Jonathan and I have each dumped a truck, and then Jonathan's going to go back and get the other load off the cart and take that in, and then we're getting Luke's combine switched over to beans, because that's what we've been using on corn. So that's kind of what we're up to this morning. It's pretty wet out, a lot of dew, so we're waiting on the beans to dry out. Unfortunately, we did have 1.25 inches of rain on Wednesday night into Thursday. So Thursday we had a rain day, which was good. Get some moisture back in the ground, back into the beans a little bit. So we'll see how the beans turn out this afternoon. They should be pretty good. Last night before we quit, we loaded both semi trucks and then the 1100 cart. That way we'd have about 3 trucks worth to haul in this morning while we're waiting on combines to get switched over and things to dry out. So Matthew and I are going to be taking these trucks in. I think he's going to drop his truck off at the bean field, and then I'll come back and dump this cart in this truck and take it back in. But one thing about these newer-ish trucks is it's kind of all plastic inside, and there's not much room to mount this camera and take you guys along. So hopefully I can get some footage of the elevator. We'll see.
We'll fit one.
guys can see right there. I think it was I better roll my window up. I think it was yesterday. They sprayed a bunch of juice to minimize dust, but there's a couple big puddles that they didn't get spread out, so we're going to try to avoid those. Like Matthew and I are the only ones in here this morning. I'll try to keep a low profile. Sometimes people don't like being on camera, so. Dump my suspension. I do that. You got to dump your suspension whenever you're dumping your trailer, because sometimes it'll you got to make sure when you get all your weight off that you deflate your bags. That way when you air them back up, everything's even across the board, because if you don't do that, sometimes it'll be uneven and not ride correctly. So that's one reason we got to do that in your trucks. But these trailers don't have air suspension, which I'm fine with. It's just one less thing you got to worry about. And some people say that spring trailers ride kind of rough, but I guess I wouldn't know any better, but I think they're all right. If anybody knows what that special juice is that they spray down on the rock, let me know. I'd be curious. To me anyways, it kind of smells like Chick-fil-A sauce. That might be a little strange, but that's just kind of how I see it, I guess. Dumping the second load right now, and I'm going to go park this truck at the bean field, and it's 9:30 right now, but it's been pretty humid this morning, so hopefully we can get started on those beans soon. Off we go. While we wait for the beans to dry out a little bit, we take the opportunity to fuel everything up, blow the radiators out of the tractors if we need to. I'll take the engine air filter out, blow it out, check the cab filter, and then grease the cart. So, cutting beans does make it nice if you have to wait a couple hours in the morning, because that gives us the opportunity to do this and we don't have to get up so early. So I'll get going on this. How'd that go? I'd like to file a complaint to management about the restroom situation. All right, off we go. Luke's in his combine. Dad's got Luke's header cart. I've got my cart and head, and then Matthew is going to follow in the auger cart. Heading over to the field now. Got everything greased and all the filters blown out, and Luke got his combine switched over, windows washed. Should be good to go. It's about 10 o'clock, so these beans should be getting real close to cutting. Get pulled up here, get the heads put on and everything. See how it goes. This is about, I don't know, half mile from where we were doing that corn last night. This shit was just right over there. And then the shed lot we were at this morning was about a quarter mile from that. Like I said, all of our acres that we got over here by Redden are just within a few miles of each other basically, which makes it really nice. We do have a couple different farm lots that we can park equipment at and such, so that makes it nice for getting fuel and whatnot. So we'll get pulled up here, and I'll probably have to help probably John put his head on. There's definitely a lot of dust there. Doesn't take long for the bean plants to dry out. There was a nice little breeze this morning, which really helped, and obviously it was sunny. So, judging by what I'm seeing from the tractor cab, looks like everything will continue onward. Alright, we've been up and going probably about an hour now. Just wanted to make sure we got everything
What do you think
set.
of this bean?
Oh,
90.
I just wanted to wait and make sure I got everything set, make sure the sample looked good and everything else before I put the camera back up. But we're up and going now. They're testing 13.5 and 14, so that's just perfect. By the end of the day, I'm sure it'll dry out a little bit, but cutting a little tough, which is all right because it'll only get drier from here. So things are going good. I've got some guests in the tractor now after they brought me lunch. It's a baby. I think he's a little tired. The moisture on these beans is about 13.5, which is about perfect. Couldn't ask for much better. They're yielding quite well. They were well north of 75 according to the combine monitors. So we like to keep combine monitors a little bit shy, just in case there's any inaccuracies. That gives us a little wiggle room, and then we're pleasantly surprised whenever we add up the tickets later for the final count. So we're very pleased with that. Just talked to Dad for a minute while we moved to the other part of this field. There's a drainage ditch in it, so most of the rows go east and west, but there's a few short rows that go north and south. So we got moved over here to this side, and he said that the beans are drying down quite a bit just as we go through this afternoon. He said the last load that he took in went 12.2, so just in a matter of a couple hours they had dried down a point, which is unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen because it's 85 degrees out and windy. So it'd be nice if it'd cool off a little bit. We had that nice weather a couple weeks ago, right in the beginning of September. Now it's the 23rd of September and it's hot. Need to cool off a little bit. Also, forgot to mention in the last video, we have hit 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Took us a little while to get there, but hey, that's all right. So I do appreciate everyone who watches and subscribes. It makes us happy here. We're glad that we're able to make content for you guys and either fulfill your enjoyment by just watching someone farm or teach new things on people who don't know how to farm. So thank you. Okay, we got that field wrapped up, and we're going to move just about a mile up the road, but we're going to do something a little sketchy. We're going to take the heads on the highway just because it's a kind of a...
You should probably go with the combine so you can get, I guess you can get the car.
It's kind of, it's a small field and there's no great entrances. So Matthew's going to lead the way with a cart, and if anybody shows up, he's just going to block the road. We made it safe and sound. Thanks for asking. No, if I might have been not very clear explaining earlier, but the reason why we drove down here is because we don't have, or this field doesn't have great entrances to kind of back the combine in and then get the head hooked up and spun around, or spun around, and it wasn't too far, so we just decided to drive it. But this field's not very big, 25 acres I think, so I'm not really for sure we've got planned to go after this. I'm sure we'll move somewhere else, but not for sure where exactly. Today's Saturday, so we probably won't be doing anything tomorrow, so keep you guys up to date. Well, we got done with that 86 and got moved over here to this 25 acre corner piece right on the edge of Bushton. It's doing really well as well. We were very impressed with the yield off the other field. Dad said that was the best beans he's probably ever raised in his 45 years, so that's pretty good for being a dryish year. And that was also, we got to thinking, could maybe have something to do with it. That was one of the fields that we turbo-tilled last fall. If you guys remember from this past spring, we turbo-tilled it last fall, then planted right into it this spring. Some of the stands we had were a little bit questionable just because it didn't work out quite right, but maybe that worked out in that instance because it sealed in, or we didn't work up any of the moisture when we used like a cultivator or our till-all on it. I don't know. Might be something to think about for the future. So things are definitely going well. We're happy. On to the next one. Luke's getting his head hooked up there, and we're just down the road past him about another quarter mile. That's about the best place we get hooked up, because the ditch just right next to this field is not very wide and the entrances aren't very good. So we take advantage of what we can. Like I said, about a quarter mile down that way. Then there's the elevator there. So we're about a mile away from the elevator, which is good. Moving right along, we'll get a good chunk of this 80 done tonight. It's 4 o'clock, elevator closes at 7. And then we'll be able to be able to fill up both carts, hopefully, and for sure both trucks. So, well, we just got done with supper. You can see Megan and the kids are up there. Probably got right around 50 acres left in this field. Hopefully, if we can, we're going to try to get this done tonight. That way this is done, and then we'll dump everything in the morning and move on to the next one. I'm going to hop in this truck up here and take it into the elevator. That way we can keep going a bit longer. It's about 6:40 right now. Elevator closing 20 minutes. As you can tell, no one slows down on this road. Well, it always happens as soon as you want to try to get something done. I mean, it's an easy fix, but Luke, I think, said he just broke 2 guards on the bean head, which is what the sickle sections slide through and cut the beans off. And Jonathan had to go blow out his air filter down there, but I think he's having trouble with the air compressor. The thing's about 150,000 years old, so who knows what's wrong with it. But hopefully it gets that straightened out, and then we can keep going. My favorite time to drive a combine is right now. Oh yeah. Well, it's just after 7 o'clock now, and the elevator closed, but we only have about 30 acres left in this field, so we should have plenty of capacity to hold it. Let's just hope that the beans continue to cut well and that we can get it done. But either way, we'll be done here in just a little bit. Chugging right along. About got her wrapped up. Well, that's going to be all she wrote for tonight. It's about 8:30. Got the carts full. Both semis are full, and the combines actually have a little bit left on them, but we got this 80 done, which is good. I think we got 190-ish acres done today, so pretty good day. Won't be farming tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, so we'll be taking a day off, but if everything goes to plan, I'll hopefully see you guys on Monday. I do appreciate you guys watching. Get everything tucked away, and I'm going to go home and go to bed. See ya.